Hey guys, welcome to Shelter on Base, another episode. We've got Anthony Garcia, we have Kuiper, we have Therese Vinal, and then we have a very, 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 very special guest. I'm so excited to introduce her, Alyssa Nakken. She's a major league coach, one of the first female major league coach for the Giants, and I'm like so thrilled to have you here. Welcome.
Yeah, let's give her a round of applause for joining the show. Yay! This is a live studio audience, everybody.
Yeah. I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity. I'm really excited. So
I feel like I'm meeting celebrities. You guys have had more TV time than me.
We can change that easily. We'll
Give
have
it
you
a couple months.
You want. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's been a weird time because there technically hasn't been baseball. And there's been a lot of quarantining, a lot of sheltering in place. How has that been treating you?
It's under the circumstances, I've tried to make the most of it. Number one, I'm just thankful that I'm healthy, my family and my friends are healthy. And I really try and just maximize each day. I think it's just so easy for us to not set an alarm and sleep in and stay on the couch and mindless scroll through social media. So I've been pretty intentional about the days. So I try and wake up and, well, obviously, hopefully waking up, but try to journal after waking up and then get some workouts in. And the middle of the days are filled with a lot of player and staff connections, a variety of projects, and a lot of Zoom calls. But I'm in San Francisco in the Outer Sunset District, so it's really great and easy to get outside and be in nature, which is just so healthy for people. So yeah, I'm trying to make the most of it.
That's awesome. I know Anthony lives out there too, so he has a question.
We will get into that later, Alyssa.
Okay.
Teaser for later, but I heard you say workouts, plural, which per day, which is like, wow, I don't even get to one usually. What's in your regimen? What do you kind of do?
I've mixed it up. I'm definitely missing gyms and yoga studios, but I've really taken advantage of the closure of Great Highway and logging a lot of miles, just very recreationally paced miles up and down the beach. And then one of my favorite yoga studios here in the Outer Sunset, Yoga Beach, they're offering live Zoom yoga classes a few times a week. So I jump on those when I can. It's filled with just great yoga instructors. And so I've been trying to do that. And then I have a couple sets of dumbbells. So being creative with those and in a small apartment, trying to get a nice sweat in and lift a little bit heavier weight. So yeah, I mix it up though. And a lot of walking. Just making calls outside.
I know your skipper loves to walk too. That's what he recommended I do since I'm turning into a potato.
Your friend.
My friend. That's right. Friend needed.
Not you. You asked for a friend, remember?
You asked for a friend.
It's not for me. I'm not walking. I'm working out.
There you go.
One more question. I feel like everybody has gotten into like there's been like quarantine trends, right? There was like sourdough, people just making sourdough starters. There's Animal Crossing people. There's TikTok. There's like all sorts of things happening. Have you fallen into any of these quarantine trends, cooking or anything like that?
I wish I had like a better answer and was like a really exciting person, but I haven't. I've just really like been trying to chill and not try and get like too involved in something. I'm a terrible baker and cook, so yeah, sourdough I can eat it like no problem. TikTok is interesting. I've not tried it because I feel like I would get addicted and no work would get done. But I sort of tried to teach myself the keyboard, but I don't even really want to say that because it was like for a week I was thinking, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come out of here and be able to like rock out in some jam sessions in the Clubhouse with the guys that play instruments. But it's been like 4 weeks and I haven't played it. So.
I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, you've been journaling too, so I feel like that's almost a trend too.
Yeah, that's something I've been doing before quarantine, but I've been able to be a little bit more intentional with it and spend more time with it. Also, like the Calm app, that meditation app, they were doing a nice 40% discount for a while. So I took advantage and tried to up the meditation game because I can get into some deep, dark thoughts when I'm, sheltering in place. So it's nice to meditate a little.
Nice.
Yeah, glad to hear that. And I know we want to also ask you some kind of more fun, lighter questions. And Cole, I'll kick it to you.
All right. Alyssa, I'm going to ask you some real quick lightning round questions. Just answer from the top of your head.
Ooh.
And if there's any you feel need a little explanation, maybe you need to explain yourself, you don't think people are going to love your answer, go ahead. Feel free to dive in on some of them. You don't have to, though. Let's start right off the bat.
We will judge you.
Okay, totally. Judge me.
All right.
Judge.
Are you a dog person or cat person?
Dog.
Dog person. What is better, beach volleyball or indoor volleyball?
Beach volleyball.
Okay. What is the best food item at the ballpark?
Crazy crab sandwich.
Yes.
Ooh.
So good.
What is your favorite beach you have surfed at?
Ooh, it's a beach down in Cambutal, Panama.
Wow. Tell us about that trip.
Oh, amazing. It's where I learned to surf. And it was three years ago. And I just took a little solo getaway, went totally off the grid. I didn't have cell service for like 8 or 9 days, however long I was down there. And yeah, I was literally at like the edge of a road and was staying in this little place with some cabanas and people that just woke up, went surfing, came back, ate lunch, went surfing, came back, did like yoga, went for a sunset surf. So that was totally the speed I was looking for at that time in my life. And so I spent, solid like 7 days just learning how to surf and fell in love with it. It was life-changing, and Panama is amazing. The people down there, I still try and keep in touch with them on a pretty regular basis. And I look forward to going back whenever we're allowed to. But, yeah, so that's where I surf, and it's the best place ever. Love it.
I take it by the board behind you that you still surf up here in the Bay Area?
Yes, yeah. Cold water surfing is a whole different animal.
Oh, yeah, I can't do it. I feel like the Michelin man in my wetsuit, and I'm just a vacation surfer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand. But if you ever want to go out, like I always need somebody to go out. I've been going out alone at times, and it gets kind of scary. So anyone's down to go out, love it. So yeah, I try to go down to Pacifica a lot, but with the shelter in place, they closed some of the parking lots, and so I was really trying to just stay here in the neighborhood. And Ocean Beach is obviously right in the backyard, but Ocean Beach is crazy and massive. The waves can get pretty big and powerful. So I've been out there a couple times during this shelter in place, but I quickly realized that I was exposing myself to injury, and if I were to get hurt, I was going to be taking away medical resources from people that were actually kind of in need of it with, this whole pandemic going on. So I haven't been out in the water as much as one would think, given the amount of time I've been spending in the outer sunset the last couple months. So
that is very responsible of you. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a very like soul searching type like thing that I was going through, where it's like, yeah, maybe I should stay out of the water for a little bit, but I think I'll get back in there this weekend.
Perfect. All right, next question. What's the best place to get a drink at Sac State?
Oh gosh. Well, like the dorms.
There we go. Great answer.
Yeah, I don't know if that's allowed.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, that was a trick question.
And, what was the drink of choice in the dorms at Sacramento State?
Red Bull vodka?
Oh no.
Jaeger.
Unfortunately, yeah, I think like Malibu was a thing.
Oh yeah.
I know, it's
making
me queasy thinking about it. But yeah, you just take a sip of Malibu, you feel like you're in Hawaii, and you feel like you take up the world when you're at Sac State.
To be 21 again.
Oh, yes. All right, Alyssa, what is your least favorite obstacle on a Spartan race?
Oh gosh. The bucket brigade,
Mm-hmm.
that's tough. So in the outdoor races on like the mountains, you basically carry this, I don't know how, 50-pound like bucket full of dirt. You have to fill the bucket yourself with the dirt and then carry it up this steep hill for way too long and then back down. And it's brutal. It's
Have
not,
you done one of the beast races?
yeah, a couple.
Oh, it's like some of the worst days of my life, I think.
Yeah,
And then finally, I know you were just a few weeks old when you attended your first Giants game. What's your favorite memory as a Giants fan before you were involved with the organization?
So on my 22nd birthday, my family and I went to the game, and it happened to be the 22nd perfect game in MLB history. So Matt Cain's perfect game. On my,
Wow,
That's awesome.
Oh,
Really
great
special.
answer.
that was a really cool moment to share with my family.
Awesome. Well, that's all I've got. I think I've gotten to know you all I need to, so I'm going to hop off this call.
bye, Cole.
Just kidding.
You have water.
Yeah, Therese, you want to dive into our next fun game?
Yeah, we're going to play Two Truths and a Lie, which is normally called Cole Hard Facts. But we're not doing Cole Hard Facts. It's Cole Hard Facts brought to you by T-Dazzle.
That's your nickname you gave yourself? We gave you.
I just nicknamed myself. If you're a Parks and Rec fan, you get it.
Yeah,
T-Dazzle.
I did, but I didn't know you could give yourself a nickname.
I
so-
gave myself a nickname for this show. All right.
Quarantine
So,
rules have changed. There are no rules.
I'm
what's
changing
gonna
your name
happen
in my
is-
phone right now.
Me too.
So what's going to happen is Alyssa is going to say 3 things about herself. We have 3 categories. I'll tell you what the category is, then she'll read off 3 facts, or one of them might not be a fact. So you guys need to guess which of those 3 is the lie. Let me repeat,
That's
the lie.
good. I feel called out. I feel exposed.
All right. So Alyssa, try not to give it away.
I know, I'm not good
You're
at
a
this.
good professional speaker.
Okay.
So here we go. All right. So the first
wall if you want. You can have a look at-
The first category is previous jobs.
Okay. I worked at a surf camp. I worked at Bath and Body Works. I led arts and crafts workshops at a retirement home.
That's so specific.
I think you're setting us up with the surf one. So I feel like that's so obvious. It's the lie. So I'm going to guess it's the surf. It's the surf.
You're going, that's the lie. Okay.
That's my guess.
Cole?
I'm going to go with Bath and Body Works.
Carmen, you look so stressed. Carmen.
I'm stressed because I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm going to go with that super elaborate job at the senior citizen or like working with elderly people.
Carmen, you think that's a lie?
Yeah, I think that's the lie. It was really elaborate.
I like your rationale behind it, Carmen.
Alyssa, the lie is?
I worked at a surf camp.
There we go.
Anthony!
I didn't work there.
Oh, I should have thought back to your story. That's right.
I know. When I was talking about it, I was like, oh no, that's probably obvious.
Clearly you fooled us dum-dums pretty well.
Okay, the next category is family and childhood.
Okay. My friends and I used to write plays and then sell tickets to everyone in the neighborhood to come and watch us perform them at my house.
I hope that's true.
I had a lamb named Skittles.
I also hope
My sisters and I were in 4-H.
we're in, what did you say the last
4-H.
4-H.
So which is the lie? All right, so Anthony, since you won the last one, you get to go first.
No, what? You got to go first last time.
I won because I
You
won.
won.
I think I love Skittles, so I hope that's true. So I'm gonna say the first one. I'm gonna say the play.
Okay.
Carmen, what do you think? You get to go second this time.
I'll go Skittles, even though I hope that's true.
Cole?
I mean, I was on the cusp between Skittles and 4-H. And since Carmen took Skittles, I'll pick the third option. I'll go 4-H.
All right. Alyssa, what is the lie?
My sisters and I were in 4-H.
Who was the winner?
I was very
The
confident in
truth
that.
is,
I knew that all along.
Alyssa was in 4-H, but she was in it with her
Brothers.
brother.
People, you changed a small pack.
That's part of the game.
Yeah, that's how you get a.
Carmen, you gotta
Showing
get
the
more.
details.
I know.
But she
I'm
did
so
have a
proud
lamb
of
named
you.
Skittles. Carmen, aren't you happy?
I'm so happy, honestly.
Yeah.
Last week we talked to Tyler Heineman, and he has a dog named Butters, and I was like, this is everything, like these names.
Not just a dog, but a puppy. Tiny
pug.
puppy.
It was so cute.
Butters. Amazing.
Yeah, so good.
All right, last and final one. Carmen, I'll let you go first this time since you haven't won a round yet. All right,
Probably still
what
not.
most people don't know about Alyssa? That's the category.
I competed in an Ironman triathlon. I went to bartending school. I was on the Bay Area flash mob team for 3 years.
I didn't even know that existed. It's hilarious.
So Carmen, which of those do you think is the lie?
Wait, what was the second one? The bartending school, right?
Yeah, she went to bartending school.
You seem too zen for that. Bartending school.
You're going bartending. Okay. Cole, you won the last one. Go ahead.
Well, let me just confer with Anthony and Carmen. Do we want to all pick different answers, or can we double up?
We can double up.
Double up. Double
All
up.
right, I'm going bartending school as well.
Well, we're gonna triple up because I'm also going bartender school.
Man.
You're a little too unsure about the Malibu and Jaeger question, so I think we've got you there.
Alyssa, please inform these people what is the truth and what is the lie.
It's true. I went to bartending.
Oh!
It's a lie that I've competed in an Ironman triathlon.
Oh.
How cool is it that she was on a flash mob team for 3 years, though? Like, what?
Yeah,
I read that and I was like, wait, are you sending me lies or are you sending me truths about yourself?
Is it hard to memorize the moves for a flash mob? Because I feel like I would mess it up.
I took it seriously, so I'd practice like in my house, like in front of the mirror, and then I would do it like not looking at the mirror because you would, you have to challenge yourself. But it takes practice, and I'm not naturally gifted in rhythm, so it took me a little extra time. But then you just get the hang of it. Stay loose, you're good.
Did you get to flash mob in Bat Kid when he was in San Francisco? Because there were a couple.
Didn't. No, I missed that. That was a little bit before my time on the flash mob. Yeah.
That was when you were at bartending school.
Yeah. So,
Serving out Malibu shots.
So now we can all say we know Alyssa a little bit better, right? Not just the baseball coach. We know Alyssa the person. And Alyssa the person that I've known for a little while now is a very giving and caring person. And one of the things that she's involved herself in, as well as the rest of the coaching staff during this quarantine time, is the Junior Giants at-home program that you guys have been doing. Alyssa, what video did you create for the youngsters to do at home to at least have some sort of baseball season for themselves?
Yeah, so my video was a little bit of a two-part. So I started off the video teaching kids how to make a ball out of a pair of socks. We understand that, not everybody has access to gloves or balls or bats. So, and when I was growing up, that's how I taught myself how to pitch. I would put like a strike zone on the tape a strike zone on the bathroom door, close the door, and then take a pair of socks, roll them into a ball, and then pitch down the hall. So I did a nice quick tutorial on how to make a ball out of socks. And then we used that ball, and I taught them a couple of drills they can do right inside their home to work on outfield. So my favorite one was a diving drill. And you essentially just toss the softball up in the air in front of you over your bed, and you run and dive, lay out, catch the ball, catch the softball, and land on the soft surface. So that was really fun to do and had a lot of fun with it. And then just a couple of other drills, tossing a ball up in the air and just working on getting under it, and then taking a racquetball or a tennis ball or any sort of a bouncy ball, going just right outside on your driveway or in your backyard, throwing it on the ground, having it go up in the air, and just working on getting under it and finding it. So it was really fun. All of us coaches had such a great time doing that. And the coaches that have kids, you got to see a glimpse of their kids involved in the drills. So yeah, it was a really fun project that we got to be a part of.
It's really cool that you guys did that for the Junior Giants program. I know a lot of parents are at home going, whatever week I'm on right now, what else can I possibly do with my kid? I know, besides put on.
That's how you feel. Just
yes.
you.
Yes, I do. And I wish I could make my 1.5-year-old do these outfield drills, but I can't. Project for tomorrow. But one of the other things that you've also been occupying your time with is somehow you found a way to be volunteering. You've been associated with 911. Can you talk about the whole process of what their mission is and how you got involved and why you decided this is what I want to help with?
Yeah, so 911, it's a fairly new nonprofit in the city. And what it does is it's really serving and assisting restaurants in the city to help keep their employees on the books, and also simultaneously helping feed families in need that are involved with a variety of different organizations in the city. And so it's kind of this twofold approach. And so what they do is 911 receives donations and funds, and they are able to use those funds to purchase meals from certain restaurants in the city that want to be a part of 911. And so that way the restaurants are able to keep a few of their employees working, making the food, and then they prepare these meals. And then volunteers, so kind of my role as a volunteer is drive around the city to the different restaurants, pick up the meals, and then deliver them to different organizations that support families. You know, I think that it's important that everybody has a healthy meal every single day. And during this time, a lot of people aren't getting that. And so, and I love eating and I love the restaurant scene in San Francisco. So to be able to help not just these families in need, but also these restaurants that have done so much for the city is, it really makes you feel good at the end of the day. There's an organization right down the street from my house here in the Sunset District called Sunset Youth Services. And what they do is they create a platform and an environment for kids to come in and learn a variety of skills, some home economic type skills, but also music skills. And obviously that organization has been hit hard with this pandemic, and those families are in need of food. So I'm able to just go drive and pick up some meals from restaurants and then deliver them to that organization, who then will drop them off to the families' homes in the city.
That's awesome. And speaking of Outer Sunset, I know someone who's probably going to try to come down your neighborhood and probably call out your name to see if he lives in your neighborhood is Anthony. Anthony's going to take over the questionnaire segment that we have.
Yeah. You know, as a broadcast journalist, you do your reconnaissance on your guests. And,
oh gosh.
Word on the street is that you love the Outer Sunset. You live in the Outer Sunset. I used to live in the Inner Sunset.
Okay.
But the Outer Sunset is a neighborhood that is very near and dear to my heart. But you don't really hear players and coaches, I feel like, talk about the city of San Francisco, where they like to go, where they like to hang out, what establishments they like to go to. So just what are some of your favorite places in the Outer Sunset?
First and foremost, the beach, Ocean Beach, just for a variety of reasons. And then Golden Gate Park is right here too. But in terms of like restaurants and things out here, Hookfish is the best seafood in the city. It's this little hole in the wall restaurant, and it's a fairly new, I think they opened 3, maybe 4 years ago. Just amazing fish. They do catch of the day. The vibe in there is just awesome. The people that work there are rad. And there's obviously, I mentioned the yoga studio, Yoga Beach. Again, just a great community of people there. My friend owns that studio, and he built it in 2015. So it's been really fun to kind of watch it grow and get to know more people in the neighborhood. Another great food place is Celia's, the Mexican restaurant. I just actually found out they're starting to do like pickup or takeout, and so I think that's what's on the menu tonight.
Nice.
Fun fact, Celia is my high school friend, Phil Havlicek. He and his family own that restaurant. Tell Phil, you know, Anthony Yes, true story.
I will totally do that.
The Outer Sunset, they do outside lands at Golden Gate Park. So
Yep.
Phil, they throw a big party at Celia's.
They sure
I
do.
probably shouldn't even be saying this on the internet. They throw a big party the Saturday night afterwards. They have a DJ. It's a dance floor. It's so much fun. But yeah, Phil's the homie. He went to Reardon, so shout out Reardon.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I could go on and on. There's another like gym on the other side of the park, so technically Outer Richmond, but that's a great spot to go to. And just like I've been taking a lot of calls on walks. And so sometimes it's been really windy lately. And so instead of going to the beach or in the park, I'll just kind of like hide and walk up and down the streets and the neighborhood, and just the unique houses that are out here. There's a lot of people that are doing some socially distant happy hours in their driveways. And I just love the vibe out here. So it's a great spot. Beach Chalet is an awesome restaurant, and then they also have Park Chalet, which is like on the park side of the restaurant. You can sit outside. They have live music every once in a while. So I'm really ready for them to get the clearance to all open up soon. So
nice.
Really curious about kind of, is it difficult to kind of be in a clubhouse where obviously you're different than them, and how has that experience been for you?
Quite honestly, it's been overwhelmingly positive. First and foremost, the support system that I've had from literally day one of like interviewing with Gabe Kapler and Farhan and Scott, and just the support I've had from the Giants organization since I started as an intern has, I think, really been extremely beneficial in my attitude and my outlook in taking on this role. I just feel that I could lean on so many people, and I'm so fortunate that I have that type of a circle around me. So I think when you're stepping into a role that may seem like uncomfortable or different, there's a lot of curiosity on both sides, right? Like ultimately, I want to make sure that the players are comfortable, and like that was something that I wanted to be mindful of. It wasn't necessarily like my comfort. I'm always like I'm awkward and uncomfortable like all the time. So it was more about like just getting to know the guys, making sure that they knew that I was here to be a resource for them, for our coaching staff, for the whole organization, and nothing else. Like that's my role, and that's why I'm here. And I think building trust and gaining trust and building like relationships plays a huge role in this as well. And so I think just from the start, I felt comfortable in the clubhouse, on the field, in the coach's room. Our staff is amazing. And I think it helps, like a lot of them have daughters or sisters or close with their mom. And they understand that, you just respect humans, regardless of shape, size, color, gender, whatever. Like, you just respect humans. And once you know that that person is there for a good reason and to be a resource, like that's all they really care about. So I never really felt awkward or different, Yeah, I had to change in a different area, but I was in the clubhouse for all the meetings. So yeah, I'm very grateful for my experience so far. And I think it goes to show just how hard so many women before me and currently have worked, because their stories are not as like pretty as mine, right? Like Rachel Balkovec had to change her name on her resume in order to get a shot at an interview for an organization. She had to change it to Ray so that they thought that she was a man. Justine Siegel of Baseball for All, she was also the first woman to ever throw BP to a major league team, was told that she should not be in baseball because she's a woman. And like those are just a couple of so many stories that are like that, unfortunately. However, it's because of them that they've paved this way for me to kind of help and share the message and just be a responsible employee and coach and do the job, come in day out, work hard. But it just shows like how much everyone else has gone through to make this a possibility. And then just the last piece on that, and I've said it, but I'll say it again, the support from Gabe and the rest of the coaches has been so incredibly strong. I feel protected by them. I ask so many questions and they're always there to help. They always check in on me. They're always there to help, and vice versa. I'm there for them. I'm a sounding board for them. And it's been just a really awesome dynamic that I'm incredibly grateful for.
Well, we're really happy that you're there trailblazing for, you know, the team that we represent, obviously. It's very exciting for us. And I'm also really glad to hear that you have such a broad support system within the clubhouse as well. And I think that leads to my question, which is, you know, you've met a lot of folks and probably lots of different personality types over in spring training, working with a lot of the players and coaches. Who has made the biggest impression on you so far, just in your daily interactions? And no shade to anybody you don't mention, obviously, but who is like the biggest character that you've met and who's made the biggest impression?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. And I mean, every single one. Obviously, we didn't get too much time with the guys, right? A month or so of spring training. And I feel like the relationships were just starting to kind of connect. But during spring training, I spent a majority of my time during practices working with the outfielders and the base runners. So I think just naturally, because I was spending more time with them, I was getting to know the outfielders at a little bit of a deeper level. Hunter Pence has been extremely supportive from day one. We officially met at FanFest and we were able to have a couple of minutes to just get to know each other, and he was able to hear my background and my experience and my vision from me directly, and not have to read, so he didn't have to read the media, you know. And that made a huge impression to me, you know. Obviously, like being a true leader of the organization and just his reputation in baseball in general. And he made me feel pretty comfortable from day one. We love to tell jokes in the outfield to kind of start or end our drills, and I didn't know that going into it. So if you put me on the spot, like right away, like, Alyssa, what joke you have? And I mean, I'll turn it back to you guys. It's really hard to come up with a joke on the spot, right?
It is.
And mind you, like, you know, Major League Baseball players here, like, this is my first day of practice, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about everything and preparing for everything except jokes. So I would spend like an awkward amount of time just researching different jokes every single night so that I could come to the park like so ready to hammer home a good joke. And I think Hunter was really appreciative of the effort that I put into it and the enthusiasm that I put into it. So that was obviously like a very memorable moment. But I mean, like, I've just been able to connect with so many of these guys, and we're just getting to know each other, right? And especially with some of the younger guys or the non-roster invites, like, we're kind of in the same boat. This is our first exposure to a camp. We share a lot of the same curiosity and, you know, uncertainty. And so I think it was just great for me to open up to some of them and vice versa. And I think that's where like trust is built. And I think you can just really build some awesome relationships that way.
Well, you can't leave me hanging. I need to know a joke now. Like I think we made
ask that.
one last week too. I need a joke now.
What joke did you tell?
Yeah, that day one joke.
Oh, the day one. Oh,
you can tell us your best one. It's
okay. I don't think they're all great. Some are not appropriate for. But one, let's see. So what do you call somebody who has no nose and no body?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Oh!
I thought she was going to tell the one Tyler told us, which was, what do you call a fish with no eye?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
I think it needs to be a new segment on our show where we make our guests tell jokes.
that's so
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
though.
it's hard. It's stressful. Like I'm sweating trying to. Because like the punchline, especially if you do like a long one, it's the punchline, and I just like laugh, and so I ruin it. But I'm getting better.
There you go.
No, that was a good one. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah. You
Next
nailed the
time on
delivery.
here, I'll get a better one.
Well, the question I had jotted down was, and I for some reason, all my questions have to do with college days. I think I must have peaked back then, and it's on my head. But you were an all PCSC softball player for 4 years. What's your favorite memory from your time on the softball diamond?
Oh man, everything. Oh gosh, I loved it. It was so fun. But I think ultimately my favorite memory was probably the last game of the season in 2012. Actually, it could have been like the second to last game. We played a doubleheader against the University of San Diego down in San Diego. So 2012 was Coach Strahan's 20th season of coaching. So from the start, it was such a special year. I have so much admiration for her, and to coach at that level for 20 years is remarkable. And she's done so much for me. So being able to play my senior year during her 20th season was really special. And then in our last series down in San Diego, we had known that we were not going to make it to the tournament by that point. USD is a rival of ours, or was at the time, and they were kind of on the cusp of making it to the tournament or not. And it was my dad's birthday. My dad and I are extremely close. He's supported me so much throughout my entire life. And so he was down at the game. And USD has a ginormous fence. It's almost like a green monster-esque fence, like double-decker fence. And it was essentially like a game. If San Diego was going to win, they were definitely going to go to the tournament. And I hit a game-winning home run, and it was just really special because I knew that was probably going to be one of my last couple of at-bats. And it was my dad's birthday. It was Coach Strahan's, 20th season. We all knew she was going to retire soon. And it was just a really special moment. I think and my softball career was ending, right? Like it was my last day of playing. I've been playing since I was 7. And like that was really hard to wake up to that day. And so I just got to go and play it and have so much fun. And it was a hit like I'll never forget. And I was able to, give the ball to my dad, and my dad was crying, and so and a kind of funny story to tie that back is during spring training at one of our away games, the former University of San Diego coach was there, and she was able to come over to the dugout and say hello and like introduce herself, and we were able to talk about that moment because that was one of her last years coaching at USD. So just really cool how that all comes together. But I loved every single day at Sac State and on the field.
That's awesome. That sounds like a scene from a movie.
You were the Travis Ishikawa.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
But we did not win the World Series after that.
We asked the fans for some questions. So I'm going to ask a couple fan questions. Lauren from my house, who doubles as my wife, would like to know, what was your path to becoming an MLB coach, and was it something you always wanted to do?
Ooh, I'll try and keep it kind of short, but no, it's never something that I thought that I could do. I never saw this role. I didn't know that it existed. My path is pretty unique. I started in baseball operations as an intern with the Giants, and then I transitioned more towards the business side of the organization. And so I was away from like the field staff and the baseball side for about 4 or 5 years. But I was able to work on a variety of projects for the organization and just be a part of some really awesome decisions and just like strategy discussions, business development, that sort of thing. And obviously, Bruce Bochy announced his retirement at the start of the 2019 season. So we all kind of knew that there was going to be a lot of change happening on the baseball side of the organization. during that time, that year, I was ready to make a next step for myself in my career. I knew that I wanted to get back on the baseball side. I just didn't know where I was going to fit in, right? Like I hadn't been scouring StatCast for the last four years, you know. I've been like trying to put on some really awesome events at the ballpark. And so I didn't know if I fit in, but then I was like, well, why do I have to just think that I don't fit in? Why don't I go figure it out? So I spent a lot of time in the off season just getting to know Farhan a little bit better. Was able to introduce myself to Scott, and soon after Scott was hired, Gabe Kapler was hired. And so I was able to listen to him before his press conference, and he addressed the staff before that. And just hearing his coaching philosophy, his leadership style, it was something that I knew I wanted to be a part of. I just didn't know at what capacity. And then kind of simultaneously, he was trying to put his own staff together. And I think just, you know, it wasn't random, but I think that just the connections, the relationship building, the experience that I've had, and the initiative that I took to have those conversations were huge in getting me to this role. And so that was kind of the path. I mean, there's a lot of like twists and turns throughout that, but that was the path. Started as an intern and went through the organization in different ways, and now I'm here.
Yeah. There you go. Wally's podcast on IG asks, who were your early influences in the game?
Ooh, good question. So for me, like influences were people that I was around almost on a day-to-day basis. So it was, you know, my parents ultimately were influential in just my growth. But for the game and softball, it was my teammates. In high school, I was a freshman and playing varsity, and got to, you know, experience playing at a higher level than I was used to. And I was inspired by those girls and how they went about the game and the hustle and the grind that they put into the game. And so, and even like as my career has kind of, you know, taken a lot of twists and turns, I've been really inspired by just people that are around me. I think that, you know, the Jenny Finches of the world, the Jessica Mendozas of the world were really influential. But I remember watching a baseball game with my dad on TV, and I wish I remembered who we were watching, but he pointed out to a player and said, that's the most entertaining baseball player in the game. And that was the first time I considered like an athlete as an entertainer. And it was just really exciting for me to hear that, because then that's how I went and tried to play the game. Like I wanted to entertain the fans. I wanted to make like really awesome plays happen that some may think wouldn't be happening, you know? And so that's, I think, why I had so much fun playing. And I think having fun in the game and just having this competitive spirit has played a huge role in just who I am personally, and is influential in the game today.
I would say that those entertaining players definitely make it worth watching and worth talking about. I know for us. Hanny Marie 6, final question. What's your advice for other women who want to work in MLB?
Ooh, well, I would say getting the foot in the door is the first step. So whether, and I don't know what her background is currently, but like getting your foot in the door by way of an internship is a great way to start. And then if you're in that internship, take advantage of being in the walls of that team or that stadium, and don't just do your intern duties, but get to know the organization and learn about different aspects of what this team and this organization is all about. I think so many people forget about all the different types of roles there are in MLB, in sports in general, but MLB specifically. You know, you see the coaches, the players, broadcasters, in-game hosts. You don't always see, you know, the marketing professionals, the sponsorship professionals. And you know, when you think of baseball, you think of the analytics, the scouting, that sort of thing. But there's so much more to the MLB, and I think that it's important. If you're an intern, you're taking that step, you're getting in the door, but it's your responsibility to just learn all the aspects that you want to learn and figure out what your course in life is going to be, or your course of your career. It's not necessarily like following step by step in order to get to the highest level that you want to get at, but it's about like diversifying your experience and building really good relationships and being an impactful resource in the job that you're doing every single day.
I think that's good sound advice for not just baseball, but probably any job.
Yeah.
Well, that is our show for this week. Alyssa, thank you so much for taking the time from your busy surf schedule and your journaling and all the cool things that you're doing. We appreciate you so much, and I can't wait till the day we can all meet in person at some point.
I know, I'm looking forward to that day. Thank you all. This was really, really fun. You guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week with another Shelter on Base. See you guys next time.
Thank you, Alyssa. Get the margaritas to go. I'm serious.
I will.